Hello everyone and welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, your guide to navigating life's complexities with insight and understanding. In this video, we'll explore a fascinating question: who are you when no one is watching? We'll be drawing from the wisdom of Buddhism to delve into the concept of self and whether there's a permanent you at all. But before we dive in, if you're intrigued by these kinds of discussions on life, wealth, and Buddhist teachings, then please consider liking this video and subscribing to Wisdom and Wealth. We're here to help you explore these profound topics in a relatable and accessible way. Okay, let's get started. Have you ever noticed how different you can be in different situations? At work, you might be responsible and composed, carefully managing your responsibilities. Around friends, you might be relaxed and humorous, enjoying their company and engaging in light-hearted banter. When alone, your thoughts may wander in directions you wouldn't express to anyone else, considering ideas you may not otherwise. So, which one is the real you? Is it the professional persona, the friendly companion, or the solitary thinker? Or is the reality somewhere else? If you could strip away all these roles, all these changing moods and responses, would there be a core you left behind, an essential self that remains constant through it all? Or is the self just something that shifts depending on the moment, a chameleon adapting to its surroundings? Psychologists have long studied this question, grappling with the complexities of identity and the human psyche. Carl Jung spoke of the persona, the mask we wear to fit into society, the role we play on life's stage. We adjust our behavior based on who we are with, much as an actor changes costumes for different scenes. Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist philosopher, believed that we are constantly reinventing ourselves, not bound by any fixed essence. Each choice we make, each action we take, shapes who we become. According to Buddhism, the self is not an unchanging identity, but a process, something shaped by causes, conditions, and experiences, never staying the same from one moment to the next. This perspective challenges our conventional understanding of self. To understand this better, let's look deeper into what we call the self. And before we move on, please remember to like and subscribe to Wisdom and Wealth for more content like this. In Buddhism, the self is not a single entity, but a combination of 5 constantly changing elements known as the 5 aggregates, skandhas. Think of them as building blocks that make up our experience of being. First is form, rupa, the physical body, which ages, changes, and is never exactly the same from day to day. It's a dynamic process, constantly renewing itself. Then comes sensation, vedana, the feelings of pleasure, pain, or neutrality that arise in response to the world. These sensations come and go, coloring our experiences with various emotions. Next is perception, sana, the way we recognize and categorize experiences, creating labels and mental frameworks. Then we have mental formations, sakra, the thoughts, emotions, and intentions that guide our actions. These are the impulses that drive our behavior. Lastly, there is consciousness, vaya, the awareness that perceives all these changing experiences, the lens through which we see the world. At first glance, these 5 seem to create a complete person, but none of them remain constant. Your body grows and changes, responding to the forces of time. Your emotions shift, influenced by events and relationships. Your thoughts evolve, shaped by new information and perspectives. Your awareness is never fixed, constantly adjusting to the present moment. If every part of you is always changing, how can there be a permanent self behind it all? The Buddha said that when we hold on tightly to the idea of a permanent me, we suffer. This is because we are fighting against the truth that everything changes. This attachment to a fixed identity leads to dissatisfaction and disappointment. Western philosophy has often approached the self differently, with varying conclusions. René Descartes famously declared, "I think, therefore I am." He believed that the act of thinking was proof that a stable self existed, an unchanging soul or mind separate from the body. This separation of mind and body has been a cornerstone of Western thought. But the Buddha saw things differently. He explained that thoughts arise and pass away on their own. There is no thinker behind them, just the process of thinking happening. Thinking is just another activity. It isn't you thinking, just thinking. If this resonates, please remember to subscribe to Wisdom and Wealth. In this view, the sense of a stable I is an illusion created by memory and habit. But why do we feel as if there is a continuous self? Why does it seem so real? One reason is language. We say I as if it refers to a solid, unchanging thing, but just because we use a word does not mean it represents a real, fixed entity. Words are just tools. Another reason is memory. Because we remember past experiences, we assume that the same person who had those experiences must still exist unchanged. But consider a candle that burns throughout the night. In the morning, is it still the same candle? The wax has melted, the flame has flickered and shifted, yet we continue to call it by the same name. The candle is changed from the night before, but it's still a candle. Science provides further insight. Every cell in your body is replaced over time. The person you were 10 years ago had a completely different set of physical materials making up their body. Even your brain changes, neural pathways shift, memories fade, new ones form. If every part of you has changed, are you still the same person? Buddhism teaches that our suffering comes from resisting this truth. We cling to a fixed idea of self, fearing change, loss, and uncertainty. This fear prevents us from fully embracing the present. But what if we let go of that attachment? Instead of seeing the self as a rigid, unchanging thing, we can recognize it as a fluid process, always unfolding, always new. Instead of fearing change, we can embrace it, allowing life to flow naturally. Because if there is no fixed self to protect, there is also no fixed self to suffer. When no one is watching, when you take away all the roles and identities, what's left? Maybe if you look closely, you won't find a solid answer, but a deeper kind of freedom. The freedom that comes from realizing that the self isn't something you have to defend or define. It's simply something that arises and passes moment by moment, like a breath, like a wave, like a reflection in a mirror. It's not a thing to be found, but a way of being. Thank you for joining us on Wisdom and Wealth today. This is just the beginning of the journey. Let us explore this freedom together.